mask make me look any more huggable? What's up everybody, StevDeS here, and welcome to another edition of Dragon Ball Days. And just as a quick note, from this point forward, whenever a Dragon Ball Day happens, I want to do a premiere so I can interact with fans like you. The last part I released, a few notable fans actually joined me for the premiere of it, so thank you. Those fans got a sneak peek as to what my week's plans were going ahead. If they saw that this was supposed to be What If the Dragons Were Swapped, I kind of promised Kaizen Ball a voice acting video. Yeah, I have to get on that. But from now on, Dragon Ball Days will be premieres, allowing you to interact with me while the video is playing, and to find out what's coming up next. So be sure to tune in on Wednesdays. You know what? Why don't you tell me in the comments below what time would be best? You know, what's your time frame? Because I want to meet a lot of you, and a lot of you love these what-ifs. So I want to keep that relationship going, because I like you a lot. Now, don't take that too seriously. When Saiyans first laid bare their inner powers, a head ancestor looked over his brethren once and said, "We are a proud warrior race! May worlds tremble at our might!" When Namekians first laid their powers bare, the first elder must have looked at his subjects and said, "We must use this power wisely, not for power or profit, but to protect our people and our planet." And so, two very powerful peoples far across the universe from one another would begin their growth in very different ways. We would learn the history of these people through the eyes of Son Goku and friends. Of course, by that point, the Frieza forces came about and threw those philosophies down the space crapper. However, in this what if, there is a combination of Saiyan brutality and Namekian serenity, in the form of everybody's favorite Saiyan good boy. This is what if Broly landed on Namek. In the last part, Paragus died saving Goku's life. As Broly witnessed this, the legendary Super Saiyan was born. Frieza was killed with his own attack, and with everybody getting revived like usual, Paragus had one more wish on Porunga. After the wishes were all said and done, Porunga still had one wish remaining, and Paragus decided to give it to Broly so that he could choose what he wishes to do. Paragus recognizes Broly as a man after all they just went through, and so Broly, as per your vote, wishes to go to Earth and start life anew. And so we join everyone on Earth about to go their separate ways when Broly just appears out of the blue. "Broly, what are you doing here?" My father allowed me to use the last wish. I wanted to start a new life. A life with friends and people like me. I could think of no other place but Earth. Broly is introduced to the rest of them, and the only one that's actually not there that knows Broly is Vegeta. I know I alluded to this in the last part, and I left it pretty short, but with how many Vegeta scenarios I have, I kind of wanted Vegeta to stay out of the limelight for a little while. So, naturally, Vegeta is, well, I would say globe-trotting. Let's say galaxy-trotting all over Frieza's soldiers. Besides, it's believable. With the legendary Super Saiyan in Broly, Vegeta now has to find his own path, his own way to realize the legend. He's not really latching onto Kakarot, nor does he want to look for Kakarot. Kakarot's on Earth. But for now, let's focus on Broly, who dominates the Garlic Jr. saga and makes a nice rapport with Son Goku's family, Piccolo because of growing up on Namek, Kami because of growing up on Namek, and, surprisingly, Bulma. Over the time waiting for whatever Frieza forces to land on Earth or the future warrior, Goku and Gohan are learning how to use the Akari state from Broly. They're going to need to be as strong as Frieza if they're going to do anything to any threat that might come near Earth. Naturally, Chi-Chi's heavy on the books, but whenever Gohan can get the training, he gets the training. Goku, however, he's mastered the Akari state to the point that he can put Kaioken on top of it. Both of them being able to use the Akari state ends up making them a much formidable couple of warriors, but they are on the way to Super Saiyan. That's still gonna happen. This time, however, King Cold and Cooler would come to Earth to avenge Frieza because they got a little tip off. That pride of yours, that pride, it's good, isn't it? Naturally, the Z Warriors would answer the call, and Broly would go up against Cooler. Cooler would challenge Broly because he wants to prove to his father something and take out his brother's killer. King Cold would be fighting Goku and Gohan because clearly Frieza didn't finish off the Saiyans. He needs to make an example. The rest of the Z Warriors would fight the rest of Frieza's soldiers, and well, suffice it to say, that's a slaughter. However, Goku and Gohan can't hold up for long against King Cold, and this is where the future warrior is made known. It's still Trunks. The difference is he's a little bit more buff and a little bit taller. Naturally, the events in canon would go normally, except he's not warning about the androids this time when he gives Goku the heart medicine. He's warning about Cell. Time and time again, the warriors in the future are too weak to take out the nucleus of Cell. Thanks to the Saiyan DNA, he would keep coming back, and keep coming back, and keep coming back, until finally, he's the only one left. As a reward for the constant failures, Cell doesn't go to space. He considers Earth a fun place to hunt and enjoy the hunt at that. By all means, the screams as people are running away from him. Pure bliss, as these fools kept him from his final form by killing androids 17 and 18. Speaking of, the same mistake happens where the Earth crew, after the 3-year time skip, they end up killing 19 and 20 and writing it off, just continuing to train until this Cell monster comes by. By this point though, Goku is stricken with the heart virus, but he does recover a little better. He didn't have Super Saiyan up to this point, so when he starts feeling it, he does take the medicine and he's able to recover quicker because the infection hasn't spread as far. Broly decides to meet Goku and Gohan at the Hyperbolic time chamber up on Kami's lookout. Naturally, Kami would like the Saiyan, you know, a Saiyan that speaks Namekian and can update him as to how the planet's going. Yes, please. Broly decides to train on the lookout, but that's when Kami, after having an affinity for the youngster, decides to enhance their training. Why not use the Hyperbolic time chamber? Goku and Gohan think it's a good idea, and while they'd have to run it by Chi-Chi real quick, they really wouldn't mind using that chamber to try to maybe keep up with Broly. After all, by this point, they have unlocked Super Saiyan Grade 1. Future Trunks then makes the scene and asks about where Cell is. Broly tells him that they haven't seen Cell at all. That's because, well, Cell's busy looking at Jiro's lab, since a certain couple of androids didn't exactly wake up. Never mind getting food, this Cell has a mission, courtesy of Broly's cells. He can get food at his leisure afterwards. There's millions of delectables all over the planet. The conversation continues about the Hyperbolic time chamber, and Goku and Gohan decide to be the first couple that goes in. That way they can narrow the gap a little bit, be a little more useful. Future Trunks and Broly, they stay outside because if Cell does show up, they are the best defense for him. And what do you know? Cell shows up. The battle with Broly and Trunks versus Cell, okay, it goes well, but every time they think they have a death blow, that nucleus is too tough to take out for them right now. He keeps coming back and keeps coming back and keeps coming back. The difference here is that this Cell, has been through this several times. While he would run a little low on energy, thanks to reincarnation, that helps everything. The battle is elongated, however, because the two Saiyans do abuse Senzu beans. Again, though, it's just dragging out the inevitable. These two Saiyans aren't powerful enough to take out this perfect Cell. However, Future Trunks is there to save the day this time, because he does do his thing, and Cell decides Cell games might be interesting. Here we get a little bit longer because naturally Cell's still famished, and he does have to make his mark with a perfect legendary Super Saiyan powered android on the loose. This is where we see Goku and Gohan emerge from the Hyperbolic Time Chamber. Almost had you, didn't I? Nope, it's not done yet. Goku and Gohan would emerge as full-powered Super Saiyans, absolutely calm in their demeanor. They learned from the Akari state how to really master forms. So, doing it to Super Saiyan was their goal in that time chamber. There's no telling what the monster's going to do, but they might want to get the Dragon Balls. Goku and Gohan rush off to find the Dragon Balls and warn their friends that whatever's gonna happen, they're gonna fix the Dragon Balls. Don't risk it. This Cell monster, he's not exactly a force to be reckoned with. Broly couldn't stand up to him. In the time chamber, Broly and his son Trunks ends up taking their turn. And we get a couple of years, that's right, they use both years, of father-son bonding. Broly, naturally, being inquisitive, would ask about the time chamber during one of their meditation sessions. Broly, being inquisitive, during one of their meditation sessions, Broly would be quite inquisitive to know about what is the future like. It's terrible. The human race is just live animals for that monster to enjoy hunting, and all that's left. What? Surely I'm there helping you. Broly sees Trunks' face go completely pale as Trunks is remembering the pain, the anger and sorrow he felt that day when he witnessed his father's body lying on the ground dead. In this timeline, it wasn't just Gohan training him. His father was powerful enough to survive 17 and 18. So, his father was the last one he had left. Broly puts a hand on his shoulder and reassures him of something. You did it, son. You changed history. I'm here now because of you. When we fought Cell, if I had to fight him alone, I would have died. We will make it out of this. During these 2 years in the Hyperbolic Time Chamber, Broly is able to get closer to his canon counterpart, but not quite. Thanks to the calm upbringing as opposed to Vampa's harsh environment, this Broly is a lot weaker. Granted, he's still the legendary Super Saiyan. He can still get more and more and more and more powerful the angrier and angrier and angrier he gets, but this Broly kind of cares about Earth. Reining that in, unfortunately, is a positive detriment to the power level of this Broly. And so, the Cell games would go on, just like in canon, with Hercule! YouTube being YouTube. Getting mopped off the floor by Cell, and, well, Goku going up against Cell. The only thing that makes Goku survive the Kamehameha by the skin of his teeth is the Akari state mixed with full power Super Saiyan. However, there is no Android 16 in this timeline. 16 is still in his pod. How does Gohan unlock Super Saiyan 2? Well, we do still have a Mr. Piccolo. Piccolo would die here because even though he's been training for the androids, he still doesn't have Nail, meaning he's far weaker than in canon. At the end of Mr. Piccolo's demise, that's when Gohan would become a Super Saiyan 2. This Super Saiyan 2, however, is fueled by the Akari state in a blast no one had ever sensed before. A burst of energy rising from this child. This rage is, well, it's more than enough to completely vaporize Cell outright. Meaning King Kai's planet doesn't get blown up. However, it's not just Gohan. Goku joins him for a true father-son Kamehameha, and future Trunks ends up running interference. What about Android 18? Does she get kicked out? No. The only reason she did is, well, Gohan was toying with Cell. Thanks to the very serious nature being presented by all the Z-Warriors about this Cell creature, Gohan just ends it outright. Not to mention, the Ikari state would make him even more furious, wanting to kill this guy sooner. So, sorry fans, but Krillin stays single a little while longer. And so the Cell Games wraps up with future Trunks staying to learn the power that Gohan had made in order to take it back to the future and save his people from a Bugman who is enjoying the hunt a little too much. In the future, Trunks will become the predator and Cell, unknowingly, will be the prey. But wrapping up the Cell saga is where we're going to leave this timeline for right now. So what do you all think? Do you think that Broly's going to be influential during the Majin Buu saga? What about how I wrote Cell? Do you think that I gave him a little too much power? Or where would you put the parameters? Go ahead and, leave a comment below. I've probably been talking to a lot of you because Dragon Ball Days will be premieres from now on, so be sure to tune in whenever you see the notification. For more what-ifs in the realm of video gaming and Dragon Ball alike, such as, well, Bardock. That's still a thing. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Like the video if you enjoyed it, and, as always, I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.